This Runick stun deck absolutely rolled me on stream today, so I asked him for the deck list and he gave it to me, and then I played it and rolled the guy, and I kind of wanted to go over the list with you guys and talk about it, and then show you the replay where he rolled me and the replay where I played it. I think his list, now that I've like looked at it in depth and played it a little bit, is kind of weird. The Runick lineup looks about right. 2 fountain and a terraforming, so 3 fountain, 3 of all the good ones. I don't really have to go over those. 1 golden droplet, which you don't play in normal Runick builds, I don't think, but this one is like actually helpful for the deck out, which is your win con and the stun build, the dispelling and the smiting storm, and then the draw engine of 1 card of demise, 3 pot of duality, 1 prosperity, 2 upstart. Here it's interesting to me. I just feel like there should probably be 3 upstart. I think maybe one of these Grave of the Super Ancient should come out, but I don't know if that's the case. If you play the deck and disagree, let me know. I also felt like duality and the little bit of testing I did with it was awkward when you'd like sometimes want to use the Runick spell to summon Hugin to search fountain. Also, I noticed when I'd opened duality with the option to go with the Runick to try to search fountain, I wasn't getting hand trapped on the Hugin, but if I did, I like lost. So like maybe you're supposed to just duality for a floodgate and then use your spells to get a Hugin later or on the opponent's turn or something. I could just like still be new to this deck. One desires is probably because this deck grinds and you don't ever want to draw the second. But like I said, 2 upstart, I feel like I'd probably play the third. Outside of that, I think I agree with everything so far. The 2 Amano Iwata was nuts. This card like rolled me and it seems really good going second this format. I also going first to stop hand traps. I'm assuming this deck wants to go first, but just like can play second. And then it has 10 floodgates, kind of 8 really. 2 dimensional fissure, 2 messenger apiece. This is the one that's like not really a floodgate. It just like makes it awkward to try to hit you for game. And then 1 there can be only 1 rivalry, 1 skill drain, 3 Grave of the Super Ancient. And the little bit of games I played, given I'm a little lower rated on Dueling Book and Grave of the Super Ancient might be better against the current meta than what I'm seeing on Dueling Book, but I was running into matches where it wasn't the most powerful card just because stuff was like not level 5 or higher, like, or 6 or higher. There are a lot of rogue decks this format that don't really get hit by this card at all, but I guess like games 2 and 3 just side them out, so who cares? The extra deck is like super easy to go over. Ooh, my laptop's on my mouse. There we go. Just like 3 of each Runick fusion except for 1 Sleipnir, and then a Baguska and a Typhon. I think I made a Typhon against a guy, but I like cheated on accident. I think I'm trying to remember the scenario. I think that I used duality and then I made a Typhon and I was like, wait, I can't do that. But then this just probably comes up going second. Baguska with a Mono Iwata or the border in the side plus the level 4 lets you put out a little floodgate, which is kind of cool. And then his side deck was a 2 Inspector border. Presumably you put those in over the Iwatas for going first. 3 Sphere Mode. This card destroyed me. Goes in for the matchups, it's good. Lightning Storm for going second. Prohibition, I don't really know what this is for. Maybe like game 3 if you know they play like Evenly or Lightning Storm or something, or if their deck like gets beat by the card. I can't think of an example. Maybe like Snake Eye you call Flame Burge, or against the what's it called, Fiendsmith, you call the level 6 dude. And then 2 Dark Bribe, 3 Judgment to just like protect from back row removal. The deck seems cool. Side deck, I can't think of stuff I would change. Main deck, like I said, just like I might change one of these for an upstart if I play the deck anymore in the future. And then let me show you the replays I had real quick of first him rolling me. And I just like queue up with the guy. He wins, or I win the die roll, and he just thumbs up, lets me play. I opened really good, I think. Like if I was going second against a normal deck, I would have hosed him with the Mulch Army, the Droll, the Talents, all for going second cards, and then Tour Guide Grand Breakout to play. This also is not bad going first, like against a normal deck, where if they hand trap the Tour Guide, I have the Grand Breakout to try to go, and if the hand trap was a monster, I've got Triple Tactic to look at their hand, rip the card, and then just like, I think this would beat like a Snake Eye or a Fiendsmith deck, but it, as you're going to see, was not very strong against the Runick deck. I'm going to mute this also. It's a little obnoxious. So I summoned the Big Bunga, Special Doug, Doug Search Grand Entrance. Grand Entrance, I think, yeah, Search is Gone Wild. Bring back the Mean Merciless by detaching from Doug. Special Gone Wild. Summon Clattersplitter. overlay for Bamboozling Gossip, Lincoln IP. I think there was somewhere I could have sequenced this better to give me a little more follow-up, but I don't know if that would have ended up mattering. Because then I, on the end step, equip the Gone Wild. And we pass to him. He destructions my back row, which was just kind of a bluff set. Technically a bluff, I'd also, like, could tribute the something. Like, if I Gossip Shadow first, I could then tribute the Gossip Shadow to, like, summon something from deck. I don't know. I think it was mainly a bluff. But it ended up working in his favor. He clears my guy, summons a Mono Iwado to turn my board off, and then goes Fountain into tip, grabs Flashing Fire. Flashing Fire, I think that was weird, popping the IP when he's got the Skill Drain and the Freezing Curses. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's the best thing to hit. But then he gets a Fountain draw. The Skill Drain is just like enough to hose me, though, so I think no matter what he does, it works out. Dualities into another tip. I don't know how I'm beating that. Set Skill Drain, a Mono returns pass. Then he gets the tip for flashing. Flashing, I think, outs my Bigabunga. Flip Skill Drain. I just scoop on the Skill Drain, honestly. I don't think that I have a way to play around that. Technically, now that I'm thinking about it, if I didn't set the quick play, I could have turned my Bamboozling Gossip Shadow to attack, declared an attack, and then made a Zeus. And then I can activate the Zeus, chain the quick play. So I guess my deck does have a Skill Drain out, which is cool that I'm watching this in hindsight and thinking about that. But I could have outed that Skill Drain, kind of. I would have had to not set the bluff, which, fair enough. Like, maybe I'm just not supposed to set that. I don't know scenarios where it would have benefited me to set the quick play, so maybe that was just a misplay on my end. And then this game 2, you see what? There's a shining little soccer ball in hand that you know is going to be the card that blows me out. But when I opened this hand, I was like, cool, I've got the Ash to check a fountain or like a draw spell. Judgment to stop something. I should be gaming. And then I proceed to combo. Summon Doug, search quick play, use the quick play, get like 3 bodies. Overlay for Bigabunga. Activate Doom effect, summon itself. Is that card's name Doom or did I just make that up? Boom. And I just do some goblin stuff. This time I go for the XYZ Armor Dragon to try to get a draw to draw into more interruptions, like another Judgment or something. And I end on kind of the same end board. I just have the full armored instead of the Bamboozling that I had last time. And then he Sphere Modes me into Oblivion. And because of the way I played, where I had to use a Gone Wild from deck to combo, I equipped a Gone Wild from deck. I've already gone through my Boom Mech, I've gone through my Mean and my Clatter. Him hitting me here and then having the Skill Drain for follow-up, you're going to see I draw a starter eventually. Because, so he goes with this to search, I stop it. He's got Destruction and the Skill Drain. Fast forward, I draw Cosmic, set pass. He tips, I Ash. He draws something, I think it was the Freezing Curses. He gets the Sphere Mode back. I top deck Doug. Doug to search. He flips Skill Drain. I flip Cosmic. And then he negates my Doug. And I Judgment that so I can force the resolution. But then when I look at my deck, I'm already out of engine. All my engine is in my graveyard after one play. And that appears to be a problem I'm going to have to think about with the Goblin deck moving forward too, is that you don't have a lot if they crack your board with something like a Spheres or like a legitimate board breaker, because a lot of your follow-up comes from like something sticking around or like the Clatter Sploder getting to come back on the main, bring a guy back, get a search, like, and part of it was me frivolously taking the Wild from my deck and like just I feel like I pulled a lot of resources out of my deck probably too fast. But yeah, I think I just scoop after realizing that too. So he completely hosed me there. And then I played the deck, and weirdly enough, I played against Madolche, which I didn't realize they got new cards, so I actually really enjoyed playing against it. This was literally once the guy gave me the list, I was like, some guy rolled me with this list, so I begged for it. Now I'm going to do the same. Or now I'm going to try to do the same. And this kind of shows you one of the scenarios I'm talking about where opening grave. I mean, this is a rogue deck, so it's not the biggest like, oh, it doesn't beat Madolche, you shouldn't play it. But I think there's a lot more decks like this. Like my Goblin deck's not hit by it. The like a mirror match wouldn't be hit by it. I don't know how much a mirror match matters, but it does hit like the Snake Eye and the Fiendsmith. So I'm assuming that's what it's in there for. And then games 2 and 3 against like more rogue strategies or tier 2, you could take it out. But I opened a Destruction, Duality, Dispelling, Freezing Curses in the Floodgate. Here I opt to go for Destruction instead of Duality, which is probably wrong. Because if I were to get hand trapped here, I would get absolutely hosed. I didn't get hand trapped, so I didn't get hosed. But then he goes Petting Sewer special. I'm not going to go over all the Madolche cards because they do like a lot. This like tributes to summon, this summons. Like I can't narrate their whole combo. But I think this game I just got like whooped. I guess it depends on what I draw here. Here was a bad hit. This the trap that he discarded actually has a grave effect to attach it to the Exes. Here, Tiramisu is going to probably blow my whole butthole out. If I'm not mistaken, I just scooped this game up. It sucks that I have to wait for this whole thing to play through it, but yeah, like, Madolche goes for the kill if they have, like, a little moment of weakness on their opponent's side of the board. Tiramisu's always been good at cracking boards, and I wish that there was a way to look at what the top 3 cards in my deck were to see if maybe I'd hit, like, a real Floodgate off of Duality. I'm assuming this Runick deck too, like, if the grave is bad, you probably have rough matchups. Like game 1 against the decks where it's bad. Game 2, you're just like replacing it with Judgment and the Dark Bribes and stuff. So it's a little better there. But yeah, that guy takes me down there. And then we go first again. This hand is a lot better with Destruction, Flaring Fire, Skill Drain, Judgment. I again opted to go for the Hugin. I think here it was probably right. I don't think Dimensional Fissure is even good against them, but I don't remember why I didn't side it out. This was like one of my first matches trying this deck out. But I went the Hugin effect, grabbed the Fountain, play the Fountain, set 2 pass. And he Lightning Storms, I protect with the Hugin. He Cyclones, I protect with the Judgment. Then he goes to combat, I Skill Drain. Or, no, he summons, uses effect, I Skill Drain. Then he attacks, I use a spell to summon Gary, use Fountain to draw 2. Gary pop his Magileine, which actually plays into the Evenly. But I still think I maybe was supposed to do that. Although he maybe should have just went Battle Phase Evenly main 2, but he probably wanted to have the chance to kill me. But I guess because of the way I played, nothing really changed for him. But he Evenly's. I give up the field spell because Skill Drain is just going to like keep him out of the game. I draw into Smiting Storm, set 2, card of Demise, draw 3, hit a Rivalry, which is like so-and-so against his deck. Tip Grab Fountain, banish the top card. Activate Fountain, upstart into Duality, Duality effect, going to hit the Judgment, which is always good. At this point, honestly, I'm just going to kind of let it roll and describe a little bit of what's happening. But when you've got Fountain, Runick Spell, Judgment, Solemn, or Skill Drain, you know the game's over, especially like with the Rivalry too. But because of how low my life points were, my opponent didn't scoop right away, as he thought there was like a chance he could play through it. And fair play to him, but like with me gaining this much advantage, is there really like a chance you play through it? I guess I'm still new to it, so I was making some misplays, so he could have. Like there, I tried to use my Freezing Curses to negate his guy, even though it's already negated by Skill Drain. I didn't realize that I couldn't do that. And the reason I wanted to was to just use a spell to add back off this and get the Banishing 2 off the top of his deck. Or 3. But I just let it die and then use it to summon a Hugin and then use Golden Droplets on his end step, let him draw and then banish 5. Or draw 1, banish 4. And then we Fountain, get some draws. Just keep the resource loop going, out his stuff, banish some cards, Fountain, draw. Drawing more like Judgment, Dark Bribe type cards. I used to think Dark Bribe was like not good in a deck like this, but Well, like mainly because of the draw. But if you're getting them in this game state where card advantage, you're constantly accruing it, and theirs doesn't really matter because they're down by the floodgates, just guaranteeing you have a card that blows them out is nice. Here I draw the border, and in my head I was thinking, whoa, this is like a beater, you know? But it's actually not a beater because I can never attack. So I didn't really think that much through. But putting it out means that they can't attack me, but it also means I'm locked by my own rivalry. He eventually scooped, and we go to game 3. He goes first, and honestly, if you open a board breaker, like I have the Amano here with some Runick spells to help me break the board, this might be where my misplay is that I was talking about. I think I accidentally cheated out this Fenrir, but I'm going to pause when it gets to it and see if there's a way I could have outed it anyways, because this was a really goofy one by me. But like the fact that they combo so much might be almost like better for this deck to go second if a lot of decks are going through so many resources in their deck, because then the deck out's a lot quicker. But I don't know if that's like a legitimate reason to like go second, you know, and have to play through a board. Also, I thought that, like, I hadn't seen this card yet, the Madolche Mini Mew Karoons. This card's kind of insane. Link 3 that searches a Madolche. And then there's also this guy, which is an interruption that I didn't know about. That's like actually just a power crept Tiramisu. You could just use Tiramisu on my turn. But yeah, here I duality. I hit the destruction. This was also a misplay by me. I just like summon a mono Iwado. I think that I wasn't paying enough attention on his turn, and I think he set this off Saloon, and I should have known where it was and just hit it and then summon the Amano. So that was a big old misplay by me, but I instead do this, where I summon it, he negates it, and then I chain destruction, target this. Chain flashing fire, target the guy that shuffles. That way you can't put my Runicks back in the deck. And then this is where I accidentally make this. When he told me I could keep my guy, I thought for some reason this got rid of it. It just like negates it. When I thought about that, the rest left my mind. Like the fact that I can't special summon, like I just kind of went dumb for a second. And I used this to out his Fenrir later on. First he tries doing this. I'm like, wait, what does that do? And then I freezing curse it. And then I use this to bounce the Fenrir so I don't have to get Fenrir'd. When realistically, if I just didn't use that, there's only a monster effects, right? I could have just played the fountain anyways, drawn 3, and hope that I hit something that'll stop the Fenrir from attacking. He has 3 in hand, though, goofily enough. And then there, I tried to freaking summon a Hugin, too, and he reminds me I can't because of Sky Crisis, but I also can't because I freaking duality. Like, this game I'm a little cheat boy on accident, but now that I'm thinking about, depending on what these draws are, I think I was fine no matter what. Yeah, so hitting tip, I would have been able to tip into the guy that pops and pop the Fenrir anyways if I had to. And I probably would have had to. That or use the freezing curses on it. That way he can't out my fountain. But I would have had something to protect. Here he swings that in. There's also a case where, like, now that I'm really looking at it, my misplay helped him because me giving him this body, he attacks and he triggers like 3 effects because a Madolche got shuffled back in. None of this would have triggered if I didn't accidentally cheat. So the fact that I helped him makes me feel better about it now that I'm looking at it. And he's so low on resources here, though, that I just like smiting storm him down for 3. He goes into Tiramisu, and I freezing curses his Tiramisu to banish the last 3. And then I just have to not die, which it's main 2, so I don't die. And then I just pass to him, and he decks out. He might have had like a way with his Madolches to put some cards back in deck, because he does have like 5 names here. But I was going to get a draw 3 with the duality. The chances of me getting some Runicks I could resolve are up there. But yeah, so I thought that this was like a really cool deck. And I was glad that the guy shared his list with me. Obviously, it's just like Runick's done, but I'm curious what you guys think about the deck list itself and about the deck going into this meta. Like, is Runick noteworthy? Don't look at my Goblin list. I didn't mean to leak my Goblin list. It's a work in progress, the Goblin list. But do you guys think this is like a meta contender, like a good rogue pick, or do you think this deck is just dog water? Let me know what your thoughts are. I thought it was worth sharing. I had fun playing with and against it, and thank you for watching.